today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this one shoulder dress. So I'm going to start with the front panel. So the first thing you're going to do is to fold your fabric into two, and then you're going to go ahead and check the width and make sure that it's the widest part of your body divided by 4 is what you will have here. So my widest part is the hip, divided by 4, that's 12, plus extra 1 inch of seam allowance, that's 13. So my fabric is folded by 13. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting in my measurements. So for the shoulder, I want this to be a sleeveless dress. So my shoulder divided by 2. So my shoulder measurement is 16. Instead of doing shoulder measurement divided by 2 and then putting 8, you're going to subtract 1 from that 8 because this is going to be a sleeveless dress. So I'm going to use 7, and then I'm going to go ahead, put in my armhole, which is 20 divided by 2, that's 10. So I'm going to connect my line all the way to the top here, and then up here I'm going to put in my shoulder slope, and then that's come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. Come in here, put in my neckline, which is about, I'm using the normal neckline, 3 inches, and then come down and then use 3 inches also. So I'm going to go ahead and connect that this way, and then I'm going to connect this shoulder slope all the way to this top part, and then give my armhole a curve this way. And then the next thing you're going to do is to measure from your shoulder to your bust. So for me, that's about 11 inches down here. And then your shoulder to your waist, for me, that's about 17.5. Then your shoulder to your hip, for me, that's 25. So the next thing you're going to do is to come to your shoulder to waist bust line, put in your bust measurement divided by 4 plus 1. So my bust measurement divided by 4 is 10.5 because my bust is 42, divided by 4, that's 10.5, plus extra 1 inch of seam allowance, that's about 11.5. So I'm going to go ahead and put that here, and then come down to my waist measurement, divide my waist by 4, and then add 2 inches. Here you're going to add 1, here you're going to add 2, here you're going to add 1. You're adding 2 here because of the dart that is going to come in at the waist. So my waist measurement is about 36 inches, divided by 4, that's 9, plus extra 2 inches, that's going to be about 11 inches also. So I'm going to put that in here, and then my hip measurement is 48 divided by 4, that's going to be 12, plus 1, that's 13. So I'm going to mark that here. So now connect your waist to your the hip to the waist, and then the waist to the bust, and then at this point you're going to go ahead and put in the length of the dress. But remember, so the length I want to work with is, this is the part that doesn't contain the ruffle. So you're going to take measurement of your dress to where you want, before it gets to where you want the ruffle to be. So for me, that's going to be about 30. I want it to be about 30. I'm going to make it 34, right? And then I'm going to add extra 1 inch of seam allowance, so that's going to be 35. This 1 inch is half an inch of joining this bottom to the ruffle, and then half an inch of joining the shoulder part to attaching the 2 shoulder parts. So I'm going to mark my 35 at this point. So I'm going to leave it straight because I'm going to still add this crunchy thing to it. So I'm not going to this ruching, I'm still going to add the ruch to it, so I'm not going to make it pencil, I'm just going to leave it straight the way it is. And then remember, you're going to still have your dart. So to add your dart, you're going to come to this your waistline and then you're going to divide your nipple to nipple measurement by 2. So my nipple to nipple measurement is 8, divided by 2 is 4. So I'm going to just mark that here, and then my dart is going to stop 1 inch before my bust line. So this is my bust line, 1 inch before that, which is here, and then 2 inches before my hip line. This is my hip line, so 2 inches before that is somewhere here. So I'm just going to extend my dart in a straight line to this line and to this line. So I'm going to mark down up here and then up here, and then just mark half an inch on each side, and then connect it this way, and then connect it this way. So you see, this is now my dart. So that's that 1 inch I'm supposed to take away from here. So all I have to do now is to go ahead and cut everything out. So guys, this is it here. You're going to transfer this dart on the 2 sides of the front. So all you have to do is just to open it up, go to the waist part, pinch it out like a bowl shape, and then you're just going to put in your dart here. So That's basically how you're going to put in the dart. So using this front panel, I'm going to trace out my back panel exactly how this front panel is, except my neckline at the back is going to be 1 inch higher, 1 inch like this, and then I'm also going to have my zip allowance. So guys, this is it here. I've gone ahead and cut out my back panel. So to make my zip fall properly, so you see what I'm going to do here is to just mark about half an inch here on my waistline on the back. I'm just going to mark 1 inch, half an inch there, and then I'm going to blend this half an inch in out, cut it out all the way to this end, and then also connect it all the way to this end. So what I'm going to do, so you see on my hip line, this is where my hip line is. Remember, this is my neckline here. So what I'm going to do is this half an inch here, this will help my zip fall in better. So I'm going to go ahead, connect this half an inch from the waistline to this here, and then I'm going to connect it again all the way to the end here. So you see, use your ruler so that it will fall better. So you see, I'm going to connect this here all the way to the end. So you see, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this piece out. So it's going to look something like this. I'm cutting out like this. So I'm going to go ahead and follow this line and cut it out, and then I'm going to so guys, now that we are done, you're going to go ahead and to put in your back dart. Remember, your back dart is going to be exactly like this front one, the same 4 inches in from where this front line is. So you're just going to transfer it here. So I know that this is where the 4 inches distance for the breast point, but the only difference here is that your dart going up is going to stop at your chest line somewhere here. So this is where it's going to stop all the way up here. But remember, your front dart stopped 1 inch before the bust line, but this I'm going to use this my chest line, which is almost like this my armhole line, and then going down to the hip is going to stop the same 2 inches before the hip line somewhere here. And then you're also going to take half an inch, and then connect it, right? Connect it this way all the way to the top, right? All the way to the top. So that's how you're going to do the back dart. So what I'm going to do now is to go ahead and pin down this here so I can cut out the one shoulder. So guys, now that I've pinned it out, I'm going to go ahead and open it up. You're supposed to pin it inside, but I'm just going to pin mine outside here. So you're going to open it up, and then this is how you're going to join the shoulder, right? So when you want to join your shoulder, you're going to place it how you normally join the shoulder. So let's say this is how it's going to be when you're sewing it, right? So you're going to so guys, now that I've placed everything, what I'm going to do, so this is how I'm going to join the shoulder to shoulder, right? So what I'm going to do is, so guys, this is what I'm working with. So I've placed everything. What you can do is, if you want, you can extend your neckline more to open it up. If you don't want to use like 3 inches, but I'm just going to use 2 inches for mine. But if you want, you can still go in and open up yours and make it like 4 inches. So go in 1 more inch. That means you want to broaden the neckline opening, but I'm just going to leave mine where it is at the moment. And then you're going to go ahead and come down from where your neckline, so you see, remember we took away 1 inch for the back neckline, 2 inches for the front neckline, but you're just going to measure it like it's still there. That's why I drew this straight line up there, and then I'm going to just measure like 6 inches down here. If you want, you can use more than that. I'm measuring this at the center line, and then you're going to just go ahead and connect from this point all the way to the neckline here. If you extended yours, then you're going to connect it all the way to the back, where you extended the neckline to, and then you're going to connect the rest, also blend it down into the armhole. So I'm just going to blend this down into the armhole. So you see, now I have my one shoulder. So this is the part I'm going to take out. You have to check if it's the right side you want it to be, or if it's at the left side. So I'm going to be using my left shoulder. So this is the side I'm going to be using here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this whole thing out. So guys, what I'm going to do now is to go ahead, go to the sewing machine and join my 2 shoulders together. So I'm going to go ahead, join the 2 shoulders together, use bias to finish up the armhole, and then use bias to finish up the neckline. It depends on you. You can use lining if you want to, but I'm going to be using bias for mine. And then I'm going to go ahead, put in my dart and close up the sides. I've gone ahead, used bias to finish mine, put in my darts. I just have to iron it and then also finish the side. And then as you can see at the back, I've put in my zip. So the next thing I have to do now is to put the ruffle at the end. So it depends on you, the length you want your ruffle to be, but I'm going to be using 5 inches ruffle. That's including the seam allowance. So 1.5 is what you need as the seam allowance. Half an inch for folding the end. 1 inch for folding the end and half an inch for attaching the bottom part to this here. So I'm going to go ahead now. The width you will use is about maybe 2 times the opening here. That's what you're going to use. So I'm just going to go ahead and start putting mine in. You can also use flounce if you want, but for this video I'm just going to be using pleats at the end. The dress looks like I've attached my pleats at the end. So I'm going to go and I'm going to turn it around to the wrong side so I can be able to put in the casing for my ruching. So if you remember from the thumbnail that the ruching is on the same side as the part without the sleeve. So I'm going to place my right underneath the dart where my dart is. So I'm going to come down. Remember your dart stops 2 inches before your hip. So my ruching is going to start just the same after that 2 inches. So this is where your hip is. So I'm going to start after that. So I'm going to start somewhere here. So let's say this is where the tail of my dart is. My dart is, so remember it stopped 2 inches before my hip. So let's say this is the 2 inches. So I'm going to place my ruching starting from this point here. My dart is going to be about, my ruching is going to be about, let's say 8 inches long. So somewhere from this point all the way to the top. So this is where it's going to be on this straight line too. So what I have to do now is to cut out my casing, and my casing is going to be 2 inches of width, and then I'm going to, or 2.5 inches of width. So I'm going to cut that out, and then I'm going to place it here. So guys, I've cut out what I need, but I added about 1 inch at this end and 1 inch on this end. So that 1 inch is just so that I can be able to fold this end here this way, and then I'll also be able to fold this top part this way, and then I'm going to place it like this on this part here. But then remember, you're talking about half an inch on this side, and then you're also going to tuck in half an inch on this side. And then when you're done, you're going to make a center stitch. So you're going to have 3 stitches here, 1 on this side, 1 on this side, and then 1 on the center. So guys, you see what it looks like on the outside. If you want, you can also take this here, this flap that you made, this our casing for the ruffle, you can put it on the outside if you want to, but I always like to put mine on the inside. You see where mine is. You can place this patch outside here. So now as you can see, I've also made my strings. So I made 2 of them. I'm just going to pass 1 inside of each casing. So as you can see, this is my casing here. So I'm just going to pass 1 inside this opening, 1 inside the other opening. So guys, I'm just going to pull. You see I've passed it inside of each of the low casing. So I'm just going to pull this down a little this way and then make a top stitch here to hold it down. And once I hold it down, I can be able to pull this up anyhow I want. So I'm going to hold this down. So guys, as you can see, is all done now. So all I have to do is just to pull this. If I draw it up, then I have this ruching at one side. So you see what it looks like right now. So you see, this is it here. You pull it up and then you tie it how you want to tie it. So that's basically the style of this dress. One shoulder with a ruche on one side. So you see, and then the rope drops. So this is what it looks like here. So you see. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Bye.